Today's video is going to be reading Proverbs chapter 20, and let's just get into it. It's going to be a pretty straightforward video. Might have a few things to say, especially about verse 1. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Well, this one hits close to home because I was an alcoholic, and I pretty much still consider myself an addict. If you stop your one addiction, it's kind of hard to not replace it with some other stuff. And I just see, like, I can drink coffee after coffee after coffee in ways that most people keep it to like 1 or 2 cups. It's really easy for me to take anything in excess like that. And maybe it has something to do, I am very much ADD, and I know that it can be related to that. But anyways, addiction is still something that I struggle with. But I'm so grateful that I am not an alcoholic anymore. And man, why? Well, I did drink a lot of wine. And yeah, alcohol is bad news. Don't get involved with alcohol is something that I can get behind. Maybe I should do more videos about that, honestly. I mean, what comes to mind, it's good for me to talk openly about still struggling with addiction stuff. I think it keeps me humble. It makes me, when the type of Christians that are, it's like gay people are the worst thing ever. I just think, well, how you have to sin in some way. Why do you think that your sin is better than some other person's sin? And in this way, like, I think it kind of goes against working your way to heaven, that you can be a person and have your struggles but still do good works. But we're all sinners. And I mean, yeah, am I going to go to hell because I'm still living in my addiction sin, or is Jesus enough to save me from my sin? And wouldn't the same kind of argument apply to gay people? Like, is theirs worse because they live as a gay person, but I think I still live as an addict. I still have addictive problems in my life. I don't drink anymore, but uh, I think that's probably the biggest hypocrisy, when people are so anti-gay that they'll kick people out of their family, or they like wouldn't allow a gay person to go to church. Because would you not allow an addict to go to church? Or, I mean, if it got so bad, I guess that, so maybe there's lines to be drawn in the sand. Well, I don't have a lot of time for today's video. Maybe just me talking about alcoholism or addiction in general is something I should do more of. I'm just going to read the rest of the chapter, and that'll be it for this video. The fear of a king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger sinneth against his own soul. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg in harvest, and have nothing. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. So you'll see, this is one of those chapters. Some chapters of Proverbs, it's like, hey, this is a letter a dad is writing to his son about something in particular. And then it'll kind of break off into stuff like this, where it's like more, my mind just goes to Confucius, like, do this, do that, do this is smart, that's smart. And I think that really is the inspiration for Confucius. But leave a comment if you have something to say about one of these sayings, if it applies to you in a particular way, you have a story about one of them. Other than that, it's just kind of like little snippets of wisdom to think about. Verse 6, most men will proclaim every one his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find? The just man walketh in his integrity, his children are blessed after him. A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes. Who can say, I have made my heart clean, I am pure from my sin? Diverse weights and diverse measures, both of them are alike abomination to the Lord. I really like that. That hits personal to me when it talks about very practical things like this, like diverse weights, people that are messing with the weights and balances or measures of things, lying about how big the plot of land is or whatever, that it's an abomination. Even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure and whether it be right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord hath made even both of them. Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. It's just saying, be ready for opportunities. It is not, saith the buyer, but when he is gone his way, then he boasteth. I don't know what that's about. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. And I'll just leave it at this. I'll stop halfway. That's halfway through this chapter, verse 15. You can take it upon yourself to finish if you want to. Bust open a Bible, order one online if you don't have one, or ask a friend. But yeah, I really like KJV, and I think that some of the modern translations are not the best to go to. So you always have the internet. Just open up. I love looking like this phrase up, KJV. It really is a blessing of the internet that you can look up anything. Like, hey, I want to know what the Bible has to say about this. We live in a time where that's so easy. So leave a comment, any suggestions for topics you want to hear me talk about, and God bless everyone.